there's so many real-life natural disasters happening, like hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, and they still decide to release this movie? To quote Tony Stark, not a great plan. I'm John Hayeck, and welcome to my movie thoughts. Geostorm. So Geostorm's movie I had the treat of going to see this evening, and I know it got horrible reviews. The second trailer looked really horrible, but honestly guys, I kind of like Gerard Butler as an actor, and the first trailer to the movie actually looked kind of intriguing. Like, it was set up to be this kind of like sci-fi movie, like people in the desert are frozen by ice, like what's going on with them? Planes are falling out of the sky. It looked like kind of a sci-fi horror movie, and I'm like, this looks insane. But then when I went into the movie, I'm like, no, this is much more like what the second trailer pitched. If you don't know the synopsis of this movie, basically what happens is Gerard Butler plays the scientist. We'll forget about that for a second and get back to it later. Gerard Butler plays the scientist who created a basically satellite orbiting Earth type of mechanism that limits and restricts the weather, so areas that can be really easily susceptible to drought get more water than they're used to, areas that really easily freeze over get more like kind of light humidity than they're used to. Basically, it regulates the weather. But one day, things start to go awry on this space station, so Gerard Butler needs to come in and save the day. And that's the basic synopsis you get kind of like from the trailer, from what the studio's trying to pitch you. In reality, though, this thing's a complete disaster mess. A lot of people have been saying this isn't a disaster movie, this is a disaster of a movie, and I agree with that. First of all, going into the movie again, I knew that it didn't have the greatest reception. I was expecting it not to be the greatest movie in the world, but I was expecting at least to have some throwaway fun with it. When the first half of the movie is just so boring and so completely irrevocably poor, I can't turn my brain off and enjoy things like that. The thing about this movie that makes it, again, so boring and so poor, is just nothing makes sense in the movie. I feel like when you think about a great movie after you saw it, you think about how well certain aspects enhanced other aspects of the movie. In this, you think about one aspect of it, and you're like, yeah, I guess the rest of the movie didn't make sense at all. One of the things I want to bring up, first of all, the very first thing you hear in the movie is a monologue from Gerard Butler's daughter. The character of the daughter in the movie, she's like a 10 or 11-year-old girl who's kind of like, my dad built this, my dad's going off to fix this, my dad, he said he'd come back for me. And it's one of those things where you hear that and you're like, oh, so is there going to be like a big family, like personal backstory? Is Gerard Butler really going to have like this real care for his daughter? Is it going to show that he's like a deadbeat dad, but he's really going to be there for her this time? Not really. They kind of set that up at the very beginning. Then Gerard Butler goes off to space, and the daughter pops up like once or twice towards the end of the movie. That's about it. You don't really feel like there's that family stake in it. Gerard Butler does have this relationship with kind of like a twerpy brother, and you feel like they kind of have a little bit of development by the end of the movie. But again, I feel like the brother was such a twerp and just kind of an annoying character that I'm like, alright, the relationship was fine, but the character was so bad that why am I giving any merit to it? The twerpy brother also had a girlfriend that was in the Secret Service, and now we kind of get into the subplots of like, alright, so there's a conspiracy involving the Geostorm that might wipe out the planet caused by the satellite, and then the president needs to be kidnapped to stop the Geostorm that's being caused by the satellite that might wipe out the planet, and the girlfriend needs to kidnap the president with the twerpy brother to get the kill, and you're like, okay, this is too much thinking. Like, I'm done. Like, let's just... It feels like it was like 2 or 3 scripts combined into one. You're like, I don't care about any of this, but... Alright, let's just keep watching because I gotta get the review done. So the girlfriend in the movie, she's one of these people who continuously throughout the movie, she's like, I am devoted to my job. I work for the Secret Service. I'm not doing anything in public with you, twerpy brother. I need to make sure that the president is safe. And then when the twerpy brother's like, can you help me kidnap the president? She's like, bam, 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 middle of the Democratic National Convention. She just fires 3 gunshots. She's like, we need to get the president out of here. There's a man who's a gunman. And you're like, you realize people just saw you fire those shots, right? They realize you're the gunman. You're the one who's putting everybody in danger. You're the one who's gonna have repercussions to serve for what she just did, right? And then she's the one that conveniently gets the president. You're like, alright, it feels like it's one convenience after another. It feels like the movie, again, doesn't make sense because this isn't how it happened in real life. And I know the movie, again, is supposed to be a disaster movie. It's supposed to be kind of turn your brain off type of fun. But when things just don't make sense to that degree, you're like, no. Come on. Now, not only does the movie not make sense in terms of its characters, though, it really doesn't make you believe in these characters at all. I already touched on Gerard Butler's relationship with his daughter, and how I didn't really care about that. I touched on how the relationship with the brother is, it's like, okay, but the relationship between the brother and the girlfriend is not there at all, and the biggest relationship in the movie that isn't there at all, I thought, was really the one between the audience and any single character. The relationship between some characters in and of themselves is okay, but you don't really invest yourself in any single one of the characters. Gerard Butler is like, oh, I'm a scientist, I'm the best of the best, but doesn't look like a scientist, and there's nothing in the movie that shows you that he's the smartest person, that he's the one who built the space station. In fact, it's kind of a running joke when he gets onto the space station that, like, uh-oh, he doesn't know anything, he hasn't been there in a little while, everybody else needs to kind of teach him what's going on, and I'm like, huh. Is he supposed to be the best of the best, or is he supposed to be this kind of like fish out of water in his own place? It was inconsistent, didn't make sense. You don't care about the twin brother because, again, the actor that plays him is annoying. The girlfriend actress is very annoying also. So I'm like, I don't care about any of these people. The prime example, though, is there's this one Hong Kong scientist who, like, he sees that, like, certain things are happening around him, and he's like, I gotta get out of here. But the only introduction you have to this character in the entire movie is he gets up out of his office when he goes down to a convenience store, buys some eggs, then sees this is happening, and then starts driving out of the city, and you're like, I guess I'm supposed to root for him because he's driving. But there's nothing. This guy could be a corporate jerk for all I know. He could be one of the conspiracy theorists that's trying to make this whole Geostorm happen. So why do I care? It's one of those things where I'm just like, this is bad writing, and this is bad directing, and this is bad movie making. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I get that making a movie's hard. I get that it's hard, I promise. But when the characters are so bad, and the plot is so convoluted, and you just feel bored throughout a movie that's supposed to be some fun, it's like, this movie's completely failed at what his job is. Again, besides the relationship with the brother and one or two effect shots that are okay, the rest of them are not crisp at all. Look like they were either filmed on a green screen or completely computer generated, and that is so bad to notice in 2017 when effects are so good nowadays. I didn't like Geostorm at all, guys. Again, the relationship between the two brothers was okay, but so many annoying actors, such a convoluted plot that didn't have to be so convoluted, so much unnecessary stuff, nothing to root for, nothing to get behind. I'm going to give Geostorm a D-. Let me know what you guys thought of Geostorm in the comment section down below. If you're like, oh yeah, it was kind of like a Sci-Fi Channel fun, like weird, turn your brain off type movie, I could be like, yeah, I understand that. You guys can follow me on Twitter at John M. Hayeck. Go over to my movie thoughts, subscribe to this YouTube channel for tons more posts from me. Links to all three of those are in the description down below. You guys can also like this video, comment on it, share it with some friends. I am John Hayeck, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching.